Congressman Adam Schiff, Democrat from California and a senior member of the Intelligence Committee. He's also chair of the Congressional Caucus for Freedom of the Press. Congressman, good to see you.
Thanks, Jose.
Tell me your reaction to these latest developments as the authorities try to track these killers down.
Well, it's appalling and horrifying, of course, and our hearts go out to our French allies and the hell that they're going through right now. We know it all too well. In many ways, this looks eerily reminiscent of Boston and the manhunt that was going on for those two brothers. Similar also in the respect that the Tsarnaev brothers in Boston were known to law enforcement, just as these brothers apparently were known to the French, and some of those responsible for the shootings in Ottawa were known to authorities. So it's not just the population you don't know about. Often it's the population you do know that is still a problem, and it just shows the difficulty in thwarting terrorist attacks, particularly when they're relatively low tech. And even though this was a sophisticated attack, it didn't require a lot of complicated machinery, bomb-making materials, or ways of getting new bomb materials through an airport, for example. So fairly low tech, but nonetheless very lethal.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that they had two automatic weapons in a country that has very strict gun control laws, you know, bears the question: how does this stuff getting in? And then there's a shooting this morning, another police officer killed. As a member of the Intelligence Committee, what concerns you most about this attack? And when you think about the United States and how we have issues that we have to confront.
Well, a couple of things that really concern me. We're still looking, I know, as the French authorities are, into whether there are four connections here, whether they were inspired by al-Qaeda or by ISIS, or whether they actually were in communication with those groups. There are public reports, of course, that one of the assailants was calling out that they were affiliated with AQAP, that Yemeni al-Qaeda offshoot. If that proves correct, though, we still need to find out, is that something that he merely had an ideological affinity with that group, or were they actually instructing him to do this? So that's something we're going to want to find out. In terms of what the influence is, what the impact is on us here in the United States, you know, I think we do have to be very much on our guard for a similar kind of attack where you have multiple gunmen that can cause a lot of loss of life and do so in a way that's very hard to prevent or detect if, for example, they're fairly insular, they're not communicating with others. That is what concerns me the most, those that don't have an association overseas, because those that do may be easier to disrupt and find out about.
Congressman, very quickly, the effect it has on freedom of expression, freedom of the press, I think should not be underestimated.
You know, you're absolutely right, and you have to think that it is going to have a chilling impact on freedom of expression. It's going to affect people whether they're willing to work for publications that might lampoon something within Islam or the Prophet. It's going to affect what people are willing to publish. Even now, when you see coverage of this, some of the periodicals are shading out the images of the French publications because they're concerned about showing those images. So we're already seeing some self-censorship, but you have to think that we're going to see a lot more of it, unfortunately, in the future. You know, just to look at the experience with the attack on Sony, how many film companies now are going to want to parody North Korea and potentially make themselves vulnerable to cyber attack? So this is something I think we have to strongly resist and encourage the most robust and uncensored environment as we can.
Congressman Adam Schiff, always a pleasure. Thank you for being with me.
Thanks, Jose.